When was the last time that you took a risk? Or a better question for you, when was the last time that you've done something for the very first time? Tough question, isn't it? You see, there are millions of users over the planet right now who are jumping into products, apps, features for the very first time. And they probably felt like you did the last time you did something new. A little bit confused, unsure, a little bit scared, nervous, excited, all of the above. And one way as product people that we really try to make sure that our users are making the best use of the apps and features is to guide them through that onboarding process. And specifically today, we're going to be diving into the best practices of SaaS onboarding to make sure that you get all the highlights out of this video that you can apply to your own apps, products, and features. But first, you're probably wondering, who is this guy and why is he talking at me? Well, great question. My name's Paul Thompson. I'm on the growth team here at CommandBar. We wrote a blog post, a massive juicy one on SaaS onboarding, and you can go check it out after you watch this video. But for now, like I said, I'm just going to give you the highlights. So what is SaaS onboarding? I'm sure many of you are going to know this because you're watching this video, but SaaS onboarding is generally the process through which users are introduced to a product and successfully adopted. Good SaaS onboarding strategies expose users to core functionality so that users understand a product's value and what problem that product solves. Some common onboarding strategies that SaaS companies use are onboarding checklists, nudges, product tours, tooltips. There's plenty of them. But as you know, not all onboarding experiences are created equal. Some can be very, very annoying. This intrusive, obstructive, abrasive onboarding experience of overblasting these pop-ups and frightening the user into submission and creating so much friction that the user ends up giving up and churning is horrible. I get that the best intention there is to try and onboard them successfully, so we want to give them as much information to succeed as possible, though that is not the best way to do it. So instead, let's reverse this. Let's spin it around and dive into what are some of the best practices that you can include. When you're designing a SaaS onboarding strategy from scratch, there are a few things that you should consider including. These are an average user's background knowledge when using the product for the first time, any features that are counterintuitive in how they work, any features or pages that experience high session drop-off rates, any feature or page that acts as a precursor before routine and healthy user interaction, that aha moment that invigorates users, any existing knowledge bases and how available is that knowledge base to an average user, and an average user's typical willingness to learn a product. One of the biggest takeaways that you'll get from this video is the idea of push and pull strategies. Push strategies are things like nudges and product tours, and we push them onto the user either overtly or subtly to get their attention and interrupt their flow. Whereas pull strategies are more user-led. For example, with CommandBar, we have Spotlight and Copilot. Users jump in there, they use their own words to ask for help or resources in any way that they know how to. It shows intent, and it's pulling them into the app and pulling them through that user onboarding or that adoption flow. Sorry, just got to take this call for 1 second. Hey, Sally, it's Paul from SaaScompany.com. How can I help you? Oh, yes, just the onboarding process. Great. Yeah, where are you stuck? Yeah, no, it's not that button, the other button. Yeah, great. Yeah, just click that. Yeah, and then click the button on the left. You're in. Yeah, that easy. Yep, cool. Hey, tell you what, call us anytime and just in the middle of something, but I'll always pick up the phone because we offer one-on-one support here at SaaScompany.com. Yeah, okay. Bye now. Yeah, okay. All right, sorry about that. If at all possible, onboard your users with a person. Now, this isn't a viable option for many companies. However, having a dedicated customer success team to make sure your users are supported, onboarded, and succeeded is going to accelerate your adoption so much faster than any self-serve model out there. Now, I know that you want your app to be special and you want it to look different and feel different, and you want to zig where everyone zags, or zag where everyone zigs. I'm never really sure how that goes. But when you do that, you really complicate things and your users can get really lost and stuck. Rely on patterns that are familiar. You'll find that when users get inside your app that they will recognize familiar patterns. They'll feel at home. They'll know roughly where to go, even if it's subtly different. Don't try and reinvent the wheel. I mean, my school teachers have been saying this since I was knee-high to a grasshopper, but I've got the attention span of a goldfish. And so do your users. And when you're inside your app and you want to create experiences outside of your app, you can lose them in a second. Any kind of distraction is going to take them away and off into life. So keep all of your experiences as best you possibly can inside your app. That way, they will stay on the path that they expected to be. Speaking of in-app experiences, use product tours. Hang on, wait, before you jump and do that, use product tours with consent. You see, there are many apps that just blast product tours straight down the throats of users, and that is not a joyful experience. We choke, we hate it, it's disgusting, it's intrusive, it's annoying. Who wants that when you're onboarding into a beautiful new product? Instead, find ways to ask for consent. Say, hey, you look a little bit stuck here. Do you want a hand? Do you want help? I can point you in the right direction. And let the user consent to be like, yeah, that sounds like a fantastic idea. Show me the way. Remember that one. Now, I don't know about you, but I certainly can't tell the future, yet that's what we try to do when we are onboarding our users. A lot of times we try and guess, hypothesize, analyze, draw in a whole bunch of data to kind of understand exactly what our users are looking for and when and why. I have an option for you. How about instead we use search-based onboarding? Let the users pull themselves through the app by searching for what they need, and when they come up with a result that we can help them with, we will deliver that inside the app, whether that's through a help resource, through a product tour, through a nudge, through a tooltip. You have a ton of strategies there, except we're not trying to force that on them, we're letting them search for it first. It's a much smoother onboarding experience. You might have just heard this, but tooltips are another great strategy to have up your sleeve. You see, tooltips should be non-intrusive, and so that they do not clutter up your app or your screen and cloudy the user experience. Instead, when a user hovers over a button or a feature that they need a little bit more context on, you can display that answer for them in a really, really subtle way to give them the insight that they need. Going from the somewhat subtle onboarding experience to the not so subtle, we have nudges. Now, nudges are contextually delivered notifications to the user. They interrupt the pattern and the flow to give them really important, timely information that they need to be able to succeed in the onboarding experience. Taking everything that we've chatted about so far, it doesn't really matter if you don't have the data to inform your onboarding experience decisions. Make sure that you've got some great data in your app and some great analytics to pull out the insights that you need to make the best user onboarding experience decisions. Now, I mentioned earlier on that we wrote a blog post on the best SaaS onboarding experiences, and you should go check it out. It's at commandbar.com/blog. Type in SaaS onboarding and you'll see the blog post pop up. There is so much more information in that post that I just didn't cover today because I just wanted to give you the highlights. If you want some more insights, examples, there's some graphics in there, there's links to a bunch of other resources and information, go check it out. All right, until next time.